Hello and welcome back to Round 1 coverage of the Ed Headrick Hall of Fame Classic from the International Disc Golf Center here in Appling, Georgia. BigSexy in the booth, myself, Nate Sexton, and Jeremy Koling.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, that's not a typo. James is 8 under through 9 holes. Jeff and Gregg Barsby at 5. Paul at 4 under, looking to get things started here on hole 10, 305 feet. Just a slight little flip-up sidearm for players who throw sidearms, but a lot of these guys are backhand throwers, so we're going to see some turnover mid-ranges, maybe even turnover putter from James.
Yeah, late turn is important here. Got to go straight a while, and then even a gentle turn is good because the forehand will skip into that ditch, and you can have some difficulty coming back with those trees next to the basket.
And Gregg finished the front 9 with a really beautiful eagle on hole 9. Gets away from here, and he's going to be well out of position. He's going to have to probably lay up from there, but that's something that Gregg does that often, so we'll see. And
James going to be... Whoa,
wow.
I thought I was tracking right for the basket.
James is like, I haven't parred a hole since hole 2, and I lost the box. And it's a little bit wider, but man, we've just seen a version of McBeth we're not used to so far in this round, just a little bit off his line.
Yeah.
And here's the local from Augusta, Georgia, Jeff Bryk showing the pros. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Very nice drift there on his mid-range, I think.
I think so too. Gregg, wide hyzer, kind of maybe fortunate almost to hit those trees. That had some heat.
Yeah, that was heat and a little bit more turned over than I'm sure he'd have liked. And James, who doesn't lay things up, doesn't lay this up, but
it works fine as
nonetheless, we'll have a par.
Yeah. Come on now. Oh,
wow.
Just past the chains from a really obstructed lie. He had to put that probably 20 to 30 feet up in the air.
And that held so much. Oh, wow. And he's going to have to settle for a bogey on 10 after the eagle on 9.
Wow.
Not the way he wanted to get his back 9 snack time started.
No.
Paul's putt had so much drift with so much hyzer. It's very surprising to see that.
Whoa.
And there's a birdie there from Jeff Bryk.
Sneaks it in. Nicely done.
And Paul unhappy with another par, I'm sure.
James in for par.
There's a lot of webbing out there. Actually, I tried to get that webbing off with the stick after the round.
What was it?
It's a lot of spider webs up there.
Yeah, there are some healthy spiders out here. Hole 11, 535-foot par 4. You have really 2 fairways that make sense for this position. This is the backhand route option where you're going to throw a hyzer backhand down in here. There's the basket coming into view late, but you also have the option of a straight shot backhand turnover or forehand dead up the middle, a totally different fairway.
Yeah, it really is. It can get you a lot further with the backhand and hyzer, but I think there's a lot more risk. This is the way more open preferred route. And by open, I mean you still have obviously a pretty low ceiling to work with, and there are a lot of random trees in the fairway scattered along just all the way throughout.
James was really getting aggressive here.
And this is maybe a bit wider than he'd like. He's going to be on the outside edge of the fairway, but he's going to probably have a good 230 left with a little tunnel down the hill.
Paul also looks to be going destroyer.
And
whoa. That could work.
Is a very strange release.
It must have gone just a little inside. We'll see how much he got into the woods there.
And it's like the second time we've seen him this round throw very awkward-looking hyzer. The first time it worked out really well on hole 6.
This is more what you're looking for.
Yeah, this is the ideal width, and Barsby will be the most open of the group, but still isn't as far down the fairway as he'd like to be, I'm sure.
Oh, and Jeff hits a tree pretty quickly there. He's going to have to hope for par. Paul looks like he did find his way into the woods, but he might also have found his way to the green, at least the edge of it.
Yep. And he hasn't been putting his greatest so far this round, but that's still well within his range.
And Jeff, can he sneak past him? Yes.
Oh, great little par save approach there from Jeff. A little back to the basket.
Ooh, James with the awkward lie here.
And really commits to that Anheuser. Unfortunately, didn't have enough turn to be able to pass that edge tree. He's going to have a long birdie look.
And Gregg with the ideal drive. Pretty easy to just slide one up here for the birdie.
Yeah, he was further up than I actually gave him credit for. I thought that he was behind another row of trees, but that was a really great drive from Gregg. Let's see this going, Paul.
Oh man.
Whew.
Closest one yet.
And a great bid from there, but man, it's just not really turned out to be his day so far.
James for the birdie.
Oh,
Yes.
wow, yeah.
70 feet out. Let's see it in SloMez. Dead center.
Yeah, that is as picture perfect as it gets. I mean, landed on the slightest drifting right, and Heiser with the Heiser angle, hits the right side chains. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah. Easy birdie from Gregg. Well played hole. And Paul, in a little bit of disbelief there to have another putter hit solid chains and not be able to get in.
I don't remember the last time I've seen him get so many pars in a row. I mean, I know hole 9 he got the 4, which is considered birdie, but he's not happy with it.
For Paul, that's a par.
Yeah.
Hole 12, 390-foot par 3. The water usually might be in play in different time of the year, but it is well out of play now. You've got a couple options here. You can play a flex forehand if you've got big power, or you can go a backhand fairway driver probably and try to just gently turn it over and slide it up to the pin.
These last 3 holes, the previous par 4 and these next 2 par 3s are the hardest stretch of the course in terms of the to par scores. This is the second hardest hole in the course, which is kind of surprising because it's still averaging 2.79, so it still averages under par.
Yep, well under par. A nice shot there from James. Gregg gonna need this to get really flippy.
And he just did not turn it over. He flipped it up to flat, but did not get it to turn. He's gonna be in that little bunker there. Easy pitch up for par, but not really that much of a look for birdie.
And Jeff, this looks like it's turning pretty smooth. Can it flex back just a bit? Great.
Yeah, he's going to have a look at it. And that's just really the thing about these courses, this course out here specifically, is that birdie is not necessarily super easy on a lot of these holes, as Paul's kept his drive way too wide. And that needs to sit down.
That's safe.
It hasn't made its way to the beach or to the water. But really, bogey is kind of out of play. You're not going to see many bogeys on this course at all. But it's just difficult to get the birdies in places. And,
whoa, wow.
And Gregg almost proves me wrong yet again. I didn't think he was going to have a look for birdie, but he just chains out.
Now
that's the one?
Oh my gosh.
That's the one?
I was about to say as it was flying, guaranteed chain out.
This is the birdie putt that Paul has decided to make.
Crazy.
There's a wry smile.
Yeah. He's like, okay, finally. I've only hit chains on 9 consecutive holes.
Right. Wow. Heck of a putt. And Jeff
just a little low.
Draws the rim. He's going to tap it in. And James keep things going here.
Nice.
No doubt about it, man. This guy's just rocking and rolling.
I almost aced this hole.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
How'd you throw it?
Anheuser Destroyer forehand, skip chain high. Disc was like 15 feet long.
You made the putt.
Oh, yeah.
Hurricane Nate doesn't miss 15
not
footers.
15 footers. But yeah, it got my group fired up. It looked like it might ace.
No, that would be nice.
Hole 13, par 3, 345 feet dead straight. Speedboat ripping by. I love it.
I'm jealous.
And we're looking at just a very straight shot. Whatever you want to do it. You can get right there to the pin. You can even have the option to go huge forehand around the outside if you want to. But I think most of these guys are going to be playing probably a hard thrown mid-range.
Yeah, I think the slight Anheuser mid-range, and you're going to see James going with the Rock 3 here, is the play. Just a slight turn, and it's holding pretty straight. And that's just fine. He's going to have an uphill putt, maybe 35, 40 feet or so.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the hardest hole in the course in terms of scoring average, 2.82.
Isn't that crazy to say? Because this hole looks so straightforward.
It is pretty straightforward, but it's just, with the angle and the slope behind the basket and the distance, it's kind of an awkward distance. You don't want to throw a driver on this shot here.
Sure.
But it is a full mid-range turnover.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, this is an easy course, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that.
Yeah.
It just is an easy course.
Right. People want to compare golf and disc golf, and in golf it's about pars and as few bogeys and then getting your birdies whenever you can. Disc golf isn't always about that. Disc golf is more of a sprint to the finish line with birdies. And when we play on this course, it's a lot about that. And it's not necessarily, you're right, it's not a bad thing at all. It's just, it's a different kind of challenge. We have to be more mentally.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
We have seen so many bids on the basket from this group.
And Gregg's trying to sprint to the finish line with that shot. And there's the first, man. That's not an easy putt by any means, but really is the first dead center putt I think we've seen from James so far.
Yeah. Oh man, Paul just a little low there.
And Jeff's got the best look at birdie here with his nice drive. And he capitalizes dead center. That's a great downhill putt, especially with that wind coming off the lake.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of confidence to commit to that putt through those elements. And
Jeff's playing great.
Yeah, he's playing very well. Gregg, almost another fireworks show. Man, he's so good at that little mid-range half throws that it's just, that shot is so difficult if you don't have that great of a touch. And I mean, he's proven that he's been playing disc golf for 25 years of his life.
Yeah. Just the one birdie from Jeff to move to 7 under, trailing James, who is now at 10. Hole 14, just 215 feet. This par 3 has got to come in at one of the easiest holes on the course. Most common play you're going to see is a high forehand out over the beach.
Yeah, I guess you could also throw the backhand Anheuser. I'm sure we're going to see James throw the JK AVR Anheuser shot. But this shot actually got pretty difficult with the wind coming off the lake. That being said, it's still the second easiest hole, averaging 2.24, which is that's one of the lowest scoring averages we've seen all year. Almost a full stroke below par.
Yeah.
And even with that shot that you saw Jeff throw and hit the tree there, he's still got a look at birdie. And very surprising. Look at that shot. Just technical genie there with James Conrad with the wizardry. Throwing the flip-up putter down the hyzer gap. So much open space to work with. And you can see there a bit of that wind coming in play. Pushing the disc pretty far off to the right with the outside edge of the disc exposed to the wind.
But look at that, man. The Firebird back in the McBeth's bag.
Wow. He's been throwing the FD3 almost all year.
Yeah, that green is a Firebird.
Wow. He's giving it a chance. And here's the longest birdie putt of the group. And he is connected.
Top shelf.
Gets away with the early branch hit that he had off the tee, and it's going to be walking off with the birdie 2, or maybe you call it a par 2, or I don't know what you want to call it, but it feels like worse than a par when you get a 3 on it.
We'll just call it a good 2.
Yeah, there you go.
A couple of good 2s. James, good 2, buddy.
Good 2, buddy. I'm just proud of Paul there for throwing a Firebird.
I know, it is cool. And look at the reward he gets to reap. Good 2, buddy.
Good 2.
Hey, Greg, I got something to tell you after you putt. Good too, my man.
Good too.
Not a big surprise there. All twos for the group. On to the next one. Hole 15 is a 685-foot par 5, a very short par 5, though it does go slightly uphill. But if you throw 2 good shots here, you're looking at an eagle.
Yeah, if hole 9 is at all controversial for calling it a par 5,
yeah,
this one would certainly be controversial because it actually averages below 4. It averages 3.98.
Whoa.
Yeah, it averages below birdie.
Okay, so it's a par 4. Like, let's just ignore the T sign, ignore the graphics.
Yep.
We've got a par 4 here, folks.
In that case, that would be the hardest par
hole on the course.
It'd be the hardest hole in the course if it was a par 4, and the easiest hole in the course because it's a par 5. So you make sense of that however you'd like.
Yeah.
Either way, what we're trying to go for here is kind of a flip-up driver here.
Paul hits early. Yeah. Continue your thought.
Yeah, you want to avoid doing what Paul did there. You'd like to just get maybe 400 something feet out of this drive. Gregg's doing a good job there. It's a nice flip up there with his driver that he's been throwing really well at the USDGC last week.
He's going to like that spot.
And he's going to be in a really good position to attack the pin there.
Paul still isn't done here, except that he slips on his shot, and that probably will end his eagle try. Or will it? I don't know. He's still got a putt.
Oh, he's got a very makeable putt. There's a nice shot there from Paul. He's going to be within maybe 40 feet, actually. And Jeff really had no way of throwing anything more than what he did there.
Here is James looking to slice his way through. And he throws that shot.
Look at this.
Just about better than anybody. That force over rip.
God.
And the rocks say, get to the basket.
I'm going to venture to say he's going to make that for his eagle. And yeah, look at this lace. I mean, just committing to that line, throwing through, showing the disc who's boss, and then just a little reward there from the rock saying, you deserve better.
Yeah.
And he's got about 12 feet left for his 3. And Gregg's in that ideal spot that you want to be off the tee, but I don't know what happened.
Grip lock.
And maybe a bit of a grip lock. It looked like he may have slipped even a bit. But that is a waste of a perfect drive there. And you really want to avoid taking a 5 in this hole. Jeff is going to have to make a putt from outside the circle to avoid doing so.
Gregg with his little forehand here. And
oh no,
this is good. It got through. I was gonna say this is a disaster after that drive.
Yeah, you really have to get your 4 at worst with a drive up the middle like that. And Paul from way outside the circle.
Yeah,
here we go.
He's finding his focus on some of these more difficult putts.
Right, it's those annoying 35-footers that are boring to make.
Yeah,
gotta make it out to about 50. There you go. Good putt there, Paul. And Jeff's birdie putt.
Yeah, Jeff.
Well done.
Sort of a half-hearted fist raise there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nicely salvaged 4 from that unfavorable lie after the tee.
Yeah, that's the kind of fist pump you do when it's like 3 bad shots in a row.
Right.
Made the putt.
Okay. And Gregg was kind of not 100% committed, it looked like, on that putt there, but he's in there for 4, and we've got 2 quote-unquote eagles, 2 quote-unquote birdies.
That's how you get the average on a hole to really drop.
Nonetheless, we've got 14 strokes total on the hole. And James, 13 down through 15 with that eagle.
Not bad at all. Hole 16, 250-foot par 3 with a very slanted green. That probably the best play here. Backhand mid-range on a slight turnover. Hit this gap you can see right as we fly towards the pin. And that shot hopefully will settle on the green where the forehand might skip away.
Yeah, forehand is scary to throw in this hole if you don't throw something that will flip up. But if you do flip up, there's a lot of bunker trees on the left that make this hole very difficult. Backhand Anheuser with the putter is the clear play, I believe. the inside route, having one just stand up and hopefully just sit there, or just catch one of those James trees.
That'll work.
Yeah, that's the best way to slow disc down onto a slanted green.
Mm-hmm. This looks very well thrown, but there's a tree.
I almost was certain he was going to hit that tree because it looked ideal.
Yeah,
it looked perfect, and that tree is exactly where you want your disc to fly, and really makes you make a decision from the tee. Do you want to go inside or outside?
This looks inside.
Yeah, and you that's exactly what you have to do. You have to force over, almost overturn, or get lucky. So there's one late gap that you can manage to throw. And believe it or not, I think without that little skinny tree he hit there, he was going to hit that late gap. And it didn't look right out of his hand, but that's how you have to hit that gap.
Yeah. This would be a special putt. Oh, man. Good thing the putter sits down.
Yeah, anytime you have hyzer hitting hillside like that, you kind of have to pucker up a little bit.
Yeah. See if Paul can make back-to-back. Man, just off.
That's kind of the definition of the day we've seen from him.
Yeah.
Just a bit off.
Yeah. Oh, and Jeff just a little too high, frustrated with that.
That's a bummer because that hit chains. That was...
Yeah.
I'd like to see that be a sweet spot on targets. I mean, inside the chains, not left side, dead center, underneath the top rim. But, I mean, I can understand why that came out, but I'd like to see that putt have a better chance of going because I didn't think that was necessarily a bad stroke on his part.
Sure.
And Gregg playing from both lies there. Just made the putt for Paul.
Yep, that's legal. Any way you slice it.
But Paul's just going to make sure to play provisional.
Yeah, if you can't remember which disc is yours and you see two, just straddle out.
Straddle them out, play both of them.
You got all your bases covered there. Just one birdie, it's James. Not a big surprise there because he's 14 under.
Yeah, I mean, if this was the league card, you'd be pulling away right here. You just know this course is all about the birdies, man. You just got to do it, and he is doing it.
He doing it.
They doing it, man.
Hole 17, par 3, 300 feet straight away. You've got water as an out of bounds here, but it is very inconsistent how wide that little stream is. If you find your way down there, though, and you're surrounded by water, count yourself OB.
And this is the hole where you regularly come across armadillos, as a matter of fact. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Armadillos are cool little creatures.
And this is a cool little shot.
Yeah.
And the rocks and the trees are just willing James forward.
Yeah. Birdies are cool creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I like birds. Says James.
Woo!
Wow.
Down there into tough putt zone, but a great shot.
That's not a layup from Paul. That's how good he is. Like, that's what's so... It's, like, kind of annoying. Like, I don't think that there was any intention...
Oh, no, Jeff. Yeah.
At all.
He's ace. He's trying to ace.
There was no intention of... His touch is too good to see him blow past a basket like that without him actually trying to run an ace.
Yeah. And Gregg with the straight forehand. Can it sneak a little bit? Maybe just a bit, but it's going to be a little short.
And all of them have avoided that one skinny, pesky tree right in the middle you have to make decisions with from the tee. And
Jeff didn't even get that far.
He didn't get that far, but he didn't hit it.
That's true. He avoided it. In one way you might not want to avoid it is hit way short of it.
And he's going to be short of the creek still on the right side. He's going to be settled. He's going to have to settle for a bogey if he can get up and down. He's going to have to make a good shot here to get his bogey. And wow, he's going to have not that long of a putt actually, but
a lot longer than you want when it's for bogey.
Yeah. Bogey putts need to be tap-ins. And Gregg hasn't hit that big putt that we usually see from Gregg. He's had a couple nice little throw-in chances that haven't gone in, but a bit uncharacteristic from Gregg.
Yeah, there's Paul.
Wow, what a putt there. And great capture here with the light behind. Wow.
Nice putt.
Beautiful shot there.
Yeah, Gregg, Paul, and James, I mean, three of the top couple guys when it comes to just believing that every 60-footer has a legitimate chance.
Yeah. And Jeff is in on his bogey. It kind of took its time to decide whether or not it wanted to settle in the basket. And James is going to fluff the hair, step up to this 20-footer, 12-footer, 15-footer, whatever it is.
A putt of some feet.
A putt of definitely some feet.
Taking his time here.
Yeah, surprising. He's usually not that methodical, but maybe he's he just want to make sure, and I'm playing well, want to make sure I don't rush this and do something silly, and he hasn't. He's going to be 15 down through 17. Kind of bummer he didn't play 2 strokes better so far. Oh, well.
I'm sure it's eating him up inside.
Oh, well.
Hole 18, par 4, 375 feet uphill and a very, very hard turn to the left. It is possible to park this basket with a multiple skip driver shot, but most players you're going to see throw out a backhand and hyzer into sort of like death putt zone where you have to either go for it or not from 40 and 50 feet, and this is a very precarious basket location.
Yeah, not only is the basket on a mound, but you can see that it is a little bit elevated as well, so it is perched up pretty high. You have to really have balls of steel to go for this putt if you're not parked. And James is out the gap here, and you're going to see a really great shot. And look, I mean, like, even with that, if he had not hit that tree, he'd still be well outside.
50,
yeah, and so it's really difficult to get the perspective of how far left this basket really is. If this gets past, and he's hit early trees.
Oh shoot, this is a very bad roll.
But again, he's not playing that for birdie.
No.
He's past point of birdies are no longer what I need. I need eagles, and he's going for that.
This has an opportunity to be pretty good.
And wow.
That was the line, though.
Without that tree hit, he's inside the circle without question. Kind of lucky to get through that early gap without hitting anything, but then unlucky at the end.
Oh, man.
And you see those drives are all pushing those left side trees. If you get just to the right side of that furthest left tree, the right side of the...
Whoa, roller now.
Wow.
And that didn't work.
Yeah, but that's the only way you can really attack the pin. There's nothing you could... If you throw straight out the gap, even if you're throwing something really overstable...
Yeah, you're probably just conceding the 4.
Right. Or 3 at best. From the tee.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about from where Paul just threw that roller.
Oh, right.
If he threw anything else but roller, he's probably conceding. And he's not interested in doing that.
Unfortunately, he's going to have to settle for a par here on 18. Not the score he's looking for, obviously. 4th easiest hole in the course.
Really, James?
Like, when is enough enough?
I thought he would lay that up.
It kind of did.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't see Barsby laying this up.
No, not at all.
Oh, and
the tree decided, hey, man, do it, lay it up.
Yeah.
The tree was like, don't be stupid.
What you doing, man?
Yeah. And Jeff, good bid at it.
It's just in the distance. You just don't want to have that much of a putt left in this little perched basket. You just want to be done with your round at this point, you know?
And there is James done with his round, 48 minus 16, tying the course record set 2 years ago in the Hall of Fame Classic.
Is it the course record? I believe John Matlack shot at 18 under.
I don't know. That's what I read in the All Too World article. So
I think that they need to
maybe
dig a little deeper.
Tournament course record?
Well, it was a tournament, I believe, when he shot it, but I don't know why it wouldn't be considered an official course record. Maybe the layout was a little bit different.
A different layout.
But 18 under has been shot before on this course.
I believe it.
And there's just so many eagle opportunities. But thanks to Innova, thanks to the PDGA, thanks to David Clancy.
And thanks to all the fans for tuning in. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. James Conrad, as you might expect, alone in first with that 16. Couple other Woods Masters featured here. MJ, Cam Todd, guys that really throw a clean backhand through the woods. We will be moving over to the W.R. Jackson course. Much more difficult, totally different feel. Get ready for that and tune in these next 2 days to see who takes this thing down.
Yeah, the hardest hole in the course is certainly going to average over par on the Jackson course. So exciting action to come with rounds 2 and 3. Be sure to check in, and we'll bring you the rest of the footage from the 2017 Hall of Fame Classic.
Thank you.